Courtney's with us in New Orleans. Hi, Courtney. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thank you so much for talking with me today. My husband and I have had a wonderful few years, and he and I have both been really fortunate in our careers and also blessed with our first little one.
Yay!
Yay! And we, in fact, have been so fortunate in our careers that we've hit a point that we're pretty certain we could live fairly comfortably off one income. And I'm really contemplating leaving my job to stay at home with our 1.5-year-old. But I am having a really hard time making that decision and pulling the trigger. The idea of leaving.
What do you do?
Half of our. I work remotely for an advertising firm.
And what do you make?
I make about $120.
And what does he make?
He makes about $140.
How much debt do you guys have?
We have zero debt. We're in baby steps 4, 5, and 6.
Woohoo!
Yay! So it's a great problem to have, but really we've been so fortunate to be able to save.
What do you do for the advertising firm?
I'm sorry?
What do you do for the advertising firm?
I work in our corporate consulting team, and I've been with our firm for about 15 years.
No, what do you tactically do? What is your job description?
I am a director in our firm, and I work with some of our corporate clients on reputation and positioning.
Okay, good. Brand positioning. All right, good. Well, there's a couple things pop into my head. One is if you're going to quit, and you want to quit, you should. Okay? You want to be home with this baby. Your husband makes $120,000 a year. You're on baby step 4. Touchdown. Quit. Okay? If you want to be sure that that's what you want to do financially, you could say, for 90 days, we're going to bank 100% of my check and run the budget as if it was his, because that's what you're about to take on, right? And that could be like your little acid test, and then you would feel emotionally a lot more comfortable. I mean, when you just say out loud, I've got to live on $120,000 a year, well, most people can figure that out, right? So, yeah, do it. The second thing, so that's the basics. Yes, you should follow your heart on this. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. You could be raising the next president of the United States. I don't know. It could be a really great job you have right there. Okay, so not the next one, but a president of the United States. Probably not the next one, but unless this one becomes emperor. But anyway, no, God help us. But anyway. Aside from that, the second thing that pops into my head is you are doing branding. Obviously, we have a lot of marketing folks on our team here that do similar things. And, positioning with individual clients, you could do a lot of that during nap time and go part-time remote and, keep a couple of key clients that you have, really good relationships with. That would be advantageous to you and your firm. And, go to halftime or something and make 60 while the kid's asleep. I mean, you really could. That's very possible from a time management type of a thing. And for that matter, you could afford a nanny to come in and just to be there in the house with you for a few hours a week, not full-time, but just a few hours a week to enable you to, you could pay somebody $10,000 a year and enable you to make 60.
Right.
And still be there and be mom, you'd be a full-time mom still. But just if they started screaming while you're in the middle of a Skype call or something because they woke up from their nap, then you wouldn't have that. You'd have somebody to step in there, right? That kind of thing. You don't have to do that, but if you, but what is running through my head is you are a very well accomplished lady executive. And so my guess is you're not miserable at work. You just want to be with a baby.
Absolutely. And, we've been really fortunate, both of us in our careers, and, just grappling with leaving behind what I've built over the last
I kind of think you
years.
might want to scratch that itch just from a self-identity professional thing. You don't have to. You don't financially have to. But if you just wanted to, that's a way you could do it, is just keep a few key clients if the agency wants you to. If not, you could just do some side branding as a hustle, as a side hustle.
And Dave,
right?
is it morally wrong to leave that kind of, income and opportunity on the table?
No.
When who knows what, No. We don't know what life brings.
No. Listen, you didn't leave your brains on the table. You didn't leave your experience or your education on the table. They're still in your pocket. And if you need to do something, you can go back and do it. But basically, I'll reverse engineer that on you. That's a phrase I'm using today for some reason. But let's just say, is it morally wrong to take $120,000 a year to be away from your kids? That's a guilt trip the other way, right?
Absolutely.
So there's lots of guilt trips to go around in motherhood.
Plenty.
But no, you're not morally wrong to raise your kids. I mean, I always think about somebody like Billy Graham's mother, or Franklin Graham's mother, for that matter, Billy's wife, right? And you think, okay, wouldn't you like to have had that job?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you like to have had Abe Lincoln's mother's job, Would it have been morally wrong for her to go be a professional lady and miss out on the training and the income or whatever? No, it's not. The whole thing is God gave you sets of skills and he gave you sets of instincts, and you're going to use those at different parts, at different seasons of your life. And right now you got a baby at home and you want to be there with that baby, and you only got one shot at that, and that's what you want to do. I'm with you. I want you to do it. I wouldn't tell you to do it if I thought you're going to lose your house or something like that. That's not what we're discussing. We're just talking about how fast you all build wealth versus not fast. Whoop-de-doop-de.
That's right.
Yeah, all you got to do is look in that kid's eyes while you're changing their diaper, and you'll have to answer that question. You'll know you're not morally wrong. You're not morally wrong at all. And you're not morally wrong if you wanted to keep doing it either. That's not a bad thing to be a lady executive if that's what you want to be. But you got a pretty clear situation here. I think you're going to do something part-time on the side while kiddo's sleeping, because I think you're going to want to scratch that itch. But that's not a moral statement or a spiritual statement or even a financial statement. I think that's more of a career coaching thing. I just think you're going to want that part of your brain activated, because I think that's who you are after talking to you. But you're just too articulate and so forth. But if you want to apply all of those skills to full-time motherhood and not make another dime for the next 32 years, I'm fine with that. That's what my wife did. And she's very, very bright and very well-read and very accomplished. And now she's full-time Mimi, the keeper of Rufus the Shih Tzu. And somebody's got to do it, right?